I'll say this about Overdrive. The ideas they had with the characters were a good start. Most of them were things that weren't done in PR before. The twist with Mack being Pinocchio, that was the best thing. It's just that all of it came up short. It's very apparent in the 15th anniversary when Tyzonn just walks off into a field doing nothing. Ronny being, I think, the worst characterized person in the whole franchise, there's nothing about her at all there. It sucks when they had a good Sentai to use, did all their payoffs well, there's episodes out there that they could have latched off ideas and used them. Overdrive just fell flat in important areas. If you have a suggestion or an idea for a topic, leave a comment down below. I might pick it one day.
Explore the alien side of Tyzonn.
I have very little complaints toward Tyzonn. Him being an alien, that works great with Bokendra's edgy. It's just that his powers get forgotten about right off. I get it that his effects are expensive, so they can't do them often, but there could have been various ways to show it. He could have helped alongside Rose, since he comes from a more advanced planet. His Mercury powers could have let him repair equipment much faster. Maybe he has the ability to manipulate metal, kind of like Magneto. Deal with most of the episodes that feature Moltor, since he's the most immune to heat. Be more resistant to attacks, since he's not all flesh and blood. When he walked away in Once a Ranger, Tyzonn could have gotten a job at some sort of factory, showing off some ways he used his abilities. I always wanted one of the Rangers to actually be happy they quit. Tyzonn would have been the best choice, since Earth would have fascinated him easier. He just needed a little bit more with him.
Ronny and Sentinel Knight.
Here's a little bit of backstory on why Ronny never got anything major to do. Natsuki, the Yellow Ranger in Bokendra, had lost her memory. She washed up on shore, basically joined the team to find out who she was. She eventually finds out that she was a part of this ancient race. Plus, she was also tied to Sentinel Knight. Her mind basically went under control, so Natsuki was doing these horrible things while Zubon was programmed to obey her, which is why Ronny was stuck in that chamber acting as a battery while Will was rescuing her. Probably the most clashing of Sentai characters. We like to complain about Jake and Doc in Super Megaforce. Ronny and Natsuki were super different. They had to change her roll call pose. You want the PR characters to be different than just recycling the Sentai, but you can't just never use them when the footage doesn't work. Like I said with Katie in the last video, if you can't use them all the time, give the Rangers something people won't forget. Ronny is a strong-willed character, a little snotty with her racing skills. That connection with Sentinel Knight could have been used. I'd see Ronny being the most open to equipment tests, upgrades, things of that type. A simple premise. She was testing out the new battleizer system with Sentinel Knight, tech mixing with magic, everything goes totally wrong, she's fused with Sentinel Knight, the two personalities conflict, warping, going crazy. Ronny is now voicing Sentinel Knight along with his normal voice, like how Dragon Ball fusions work. This is where everything goes down the drain. The team is almost forced to kill them both. One of the jewels is found in all this chaos, which has the ability to separate them. The lack of Yellow Ranger is explained. It still uses the Zubon footage, and it could be a subplot to them not wanting to attempt the battleizer equipment again, where Mack is forced later to use it. Nothing happens to him, where Rose and the others get confused on why it worked, adding to the robot secret. It's insulting to give a two-parter episode about Ronny, who barely got anything as it was, but then have Will be the main focus. Both of them should have been at the forefront of this story.
Rose finds out Mack's secret first.
Sakura and Akashi had a teasing relationship in Bokendra. I'm not asking for Rose and Mack to fall in love, that wouldn't make sense. But that bit of material could have been used in Mack's secret. Of all the people on the team that could have found out Mack was a robot, Rose would have been it. She is the smartest, can solve almost anything. It would have been interesting if she discovered it first, but didn't say anything. Torn on what to do. The audience is confused, confront Hartford in private, tell the entire team, or just tell Mack. This way, the footage used when Sakura showed her feelings openly could have been a part of the big reveal. This way, you have a more complex problem for Mack to get through. His hatred toward his father, plus Rose not saying anything to anyone, like, who do you trust anymore? This could have brought down the moral for the team, giving openings to enemies.
Tone down Dax.
Just because I like Dax the way he was done doesn't mean I'm blind to why people hate him. It's weird with this character. Most of the time, PR is the one that makes characters worse than their Sentai character part. But Shota got so little to do, with some exceptions. Dax was actually used more on screen. I could see what they were going for. They wanted to keep the abrasive part of Boken Blue, but add that PR comedy on top of it. But Dax swings back and forth between the two sides. He's either too annoying with the references and jokes, but then does nothing of value for the episode besides complaining about being a stunt actor. Dax needs to keep his stunt actor part, that was fine, but drop most of the quips and references to episode titles. Have it a few times, then move on. Another area that they could have expanded on was the whole mirror trick story. This basically happened in Bokenger as well. She kind of turned good, more like a tolerable petty criminal. But for Overdrive, this could have been used as a hard lesson to Dax. I don't want to copy the Trip Nadira dynamic, so why not have Dax fail? Mirror tricks tricked him the first time, so he kept trying over and over and over to get through to her, all for it to fall apart in the end, forcing him to kill her along with Camdor. Just like Master Org, you can't save everyone. Giving him this would have gave the character more depth than just jokester.
Will actually quits.
Everyone makes fun of this. It's one of PR's earliest memes, but I wish Will actually went through and quit. It's one of the things I get annoyed about in PR. Annoyed in general, actually. As a ranger, you go through all kinds of mental gymnastics. You see horrors, you have to kill monsters, you're on call 24/7. Not everyone is going to be able to hold out with all this. Sometimes I see mentors get mad and it gets on my nerves. You're not thinking of what the team is going through. You never see anyone get mad and walk. I don't want to copy Always a Chance with Carlos, but Will should have walked in, say, the final 5 episodes. There was a thing between Boken, Red, and Black. It was building through the whole series till Matsumi almost went evil. I want to keep that connection with Red and Black. This brings up an issue with footage, but I would have Will replaced. Go all out. Will just walks. We don't see him for, say, 3 episodes. The new guy comes in. This starts to eat at Mack. He starts blaming himself. He failed his team. Should have watched Will more closely. Never get comfortable around the new Black Ranger. He does something very stupid which exposes his robot secret. Plays out the same way as the show. He hates Hartford, gets confused on why Rose didn't say anything to him. He basically starts fighting his programming, leaving himself open.
Mack captured by Moltor.
When Mack was exposed as a robot, Moltor saw it. Capitalizing on this, designed a device that hacked into Mack's system. Due to his conflicting feelings, plus the program that was set up to make him never realize he was a robot, blocked him from noticing he was infected. Destroying most of the underground base, stealing the gems, crushing his tracker, and stealing the Sentinel sword, walking away with Moltor. With everyone shocked and depressed, they don't have the gems. They lost 3 friends now. This is where good old Spencer comes into play and attempts to find Will. We get a big moment with Spencer and Will. Will fights Spencer's arguments. Spencer uses his charm, gets through to him. He returns to the team at the last moment.
Will becomes the Red Ranger.
Will agrees to help rescue Mack. Hartford hands over Mack's fixed tracker so he can become the Red Ranger. This is a personal fight between Moltor and Will, allowing the final bits of Bokenger footage they could use. Mack's death and turning into a human, that I'm keeping, but I want it to be emotionally motivated from all he felt about everyone, while Will is the one that helps him break free of the virus. Mack stepping in front of a killing blow meant for Will. He dies like he did in the series, so to bring him back, the Crown sees Mack going beyond just being a programmed robot. So the Corona Aurora turns him into his strongest wand. To not feel like everything is happy and resets to 0, Will still leaves the team. I don't hate how the finale played out, it's just that it didn't have a big impact because everything got rushed through. Most of the characters were just fighting. Mack stuff got finished off quick. Turning him into a human just didn't feel earned enough. Overdrive's finale really needed to be 2 parts. Looking back at Overdrive, for me, the season felt like it was full of teasing. Had a cool story here, great story there, but didn't have the guts to go all the way. A lot of times this stuff happens because of budget. The new Black Ranger, I had considered Hartford to be the replacement since he was going to be the Red Ranger originally. Give him that chance. Make it even more awkward to Mack. What are your thoughts on how I changed Will? I wanted it to be impactful. I wanted it to be on par with Bokenger's ending. Would you like to see a Ranger out and out quit a team, never coming back, or is that too far? I got the idea when Ahsoka left in the Clone Wars series. I was like, they went there. She acted how a real person would. Everyone failed her. I wanted Will to feel like that. We would not make fun of him leaving if he went through with it. New episodes every Monday. Next week, I want to help out kids and other people who've just begun watching the series. It's 25 years of a ton of episodes. Where do you start? So I'll be picking the 10 seasons for beginners. Sorry about not including stills in the video. Due to past fair use abuses from the various companies involved, I no longer feature them. Thank you for understanding. See you in the next video.